Hello dear friend, this is lesson 7 of CCNA video training course based on the official CCNA book. In this video, you will learn how switch interfaces are configured. We will also talk about the auto negotiation process in the switch, and finally we will implement those things in practice. This is switch layer 2 that we talk about the switch types in previous videos. A switch needs the same kind of IP settings as a PC with a single Ethernet interface. For example, imagine a PC has a CPU with the operating system such as Microsoft Windows that's running on the CPU. It has an Ethernet network interface card or NIC. The OS configuration includes an IP address associated to that NIC, and also maybe configured dynamically with the DHCP that assign IP address automatically. A switch uses the same ideas, except that the switch needs to use a virtual network interface because the switch layer 2 switches just know the computers by the MAC address, not the IP address. But it's another item we need. It's so maybe I can say it's a paradox. We will need and for example at least one IP address on the switch that we can be connect to that switch from remote and configure that, and any other items maybe need to implement on that switch. So the switch obviously has a lot of Ethernet ports, but instead of assigning its management IP address to any of those ports, those layer 2 ports, because the port is layer 2 and cannot be assigned any IP address, the switch then uses a network interface card virtualized concept that's known as switch virtual interface or SVI. Each layer 2 switch has the virtualized network interface card called SVI. And commonly a VLAN interface that I will describe about the VLAN for you in next videos. Okay, not problem about that. Then the setting on the switch looks something like a host, with the switch configuration assigning IP setting like an IP address to that VLAN, to the default VLAN of the switch, and we will access to the switch with this virtual interface card. Okay, this is a SVI or switch virtual interface. Maybe contains just one virtual interface, maybe contains more than one virtual interface, but commonly for the start of configuring the switch, just one IP address is enough. And when you configuring a switch virtual interface, you can assign that interface, that virtual interface, to the VLAN configuration. But what about VLAN? Let me talk about later. Talk about VLAN. I will describe completely that in next videos. What's the VLAN? The concept of VLAN means that we group and separate different computers that are connected to a physical same switch by a logical and not physical mechanism, separating by logical and not physical mechanism. In fact, by placing the systems in separate VLANs, the systems of each department in a separate section, for example, we will be able to prevent their communication with each other. And from separate segments, and those limited systems can never communicate with each other except excepting if the network administrator allows and provides this possibility. So this is the VLAN, and for this reason we can have many VLANs on each switch, and many interface VLAN based on how many VLANs we have. For example, if we have two VLANs on our switch, we can have two interface VLAN, each of them for each VLAN. For example, VLAN 1, interface VLAN 1 for that, and VLAN 2, interface VLAN 2 for that. Each VLAN knows by a number that assigns to that VLAN. For example, VLAN 1, VLAN 2, VLAN 3, and so on. We will learn, and we will learn completely about the VLAN numbers and how many VLAN we can have, and all of things about that in next videos. When we have the interface VLAN for each VLAN, we can assign an IP address for that interface VLAN, such as this image that you see. For example, we have VLAN 1 and we have VLAN 2. And if VLAN assigns on the switch, we can put some computers in that VLAN, but by assigning the switch ports into favorite VLAN. For example, I can assign these 48 port switch. For example, I can assign 12 port into VLAN 1 and 12 port into VLAN 2, and connect computers to related VLANs. For example, in this switch SVI interface, I can have interface VLAN 1 for VLAN 1 and interface VLAN 2 for that, and assign computers in each VLAN, and the computers must IP address as same as the interface VLAN range. If our switch VLAN has interface VLAN with IP address 10 range 10.xxx, then my computer should be assigned IP address with range of 10xxx, and as well as VLAN 2. Well, we come to the practical work of this video. In this laboratory of this video, we will learn about configuring SVI on switch, how to configure gateway on switch, verifying IP version 4 on switch, history of switch commands, enabling or disabling logging, interface description, how we can put description on interface, how we can select interface by range, how we can select some interface, for example 4 interface together at the same time by interface range command, removing configuration, and auto negotiation on ports. So let's go to the practice. This is switch layer 2. I did put in lab switch layer 2 model 2960, and I connected two PCs by cable of straight through cable, straight through model, and connected the first PC that's assigned to VLAN 1, that will be assigned to VLAN 1, is connected to fast Ethernet 0/1, shows here, and the second PC connected to interface fast Ethernet 0/2. I will assign the first interface into VLAN 1 with range of with IP address range of 10.110 or 11x with the subnet mask /24, and I will assign the second system to VLAN 2 with IP address 20.11x, the subnet mask as same the previous. Okay, let's go to start, and this is the switch configuration page. Now I am in user mode. I can enter into privilege mode by command enable, and first of all let me check show VLAN brief or BRI. BRI is enough, but I typed completely to brief, sorry, to see you completed that. Show VLAN brief. When I enter the show VLAN brief, it will show me the interfaces, all interfaces of the switch. As we can see, each switch has a default VLAN known as default VLAN 1 with name default, and this name for this VLAN, for VLAN default or VLAN 1, this name is not changeable. Keep in mind, but the another VLANs, maybe VLAN 2, VLAN 3, and other items, you can change that name. And by default, all of switch ports assigns to VLAN default, that it is VLAN 1. And if you want, you can assign any ports into another VLANs. How we can create VLAN? It is very simple. In configure terminal or in global configuration mode, we can use VLAN, for example 3 or VLAN 2, enter. Just this, with this simple command, the VLAN will be created and we can assign the name for that. Name VLAN 2, name VLAN, for example 2_2, and show VLAN brief, and we can see the name is changed. Okay, and how I can assign IP address? First of all, and before the assign IP address, I need assign the second interface that connected to the second PCs into VLAN 2. VLAN 1 is here and all of ports is assigned to that. Just we need assign our favorite port into our second VLAN is VLAN 2. It is interface fast Ethernet 0/2. Okay, this one. And now configure terminal interface, going to interface tab, fast Ethernet 0/2. For assigning each port into each VLAN, that's need we understand some concept, some important concept. Well, the fast Ethernet 0/1 now is in VLAN 1 by default. We did see, okay, no problem. But when I want to assign another port to the another VLAN except of VLAN 1, what should I do now? There is one important concept, and that it is this: the state of the switch port can be set in one mode. See here, switch port mode. I use question mark. In this state, the switch port can be set in one of these three modes: access, dynamic, and trunk. Access, dynamic, and trunk. Access is now used to connect end system or end user, such as connecting to a computer, and use for that. If you choose the dynamic option, the switch will adjust its port according to the type of the operation of the device connected to that port. And if you choose the third option, trunk, this one, that port will be used to exchange VLAN information, considering that this training course is taught based on a Cisco's official resource. I will review and explain these things in detail in the relevant section. Okay, we just want to use the access items. So before assigning each port into a VLAN, we need to change that mode into access. Switch port mode access. I said you the access mode is for connecting end user into a VLAN, for example. Switch port mode, so I need perform this command: switch port mode access. Okay, and now switch port access VLAN 2. This command tells the switch that change this port from VLAN default into VLAN 2. Okay, and perform end command, show VLAN brief again, and we can see the interface number fast Ethernet 02 is assigned to VLAN 2. Well, now that the ports are members of the corresponding VLAN, let's go to the SVI setting for each VLAN. keep in mind when you have in some VLANs on your switch, usually need create a SVI for each VLAN. This is the first rule. The second rule is each SVI that you created on the switch, just in one condition it will be up and working, and that condition is in relevant VLAN has an assigned at least one port into that. For example, if I don't assign facet 02 or any other ports into VLAN 2, it is not working the VLAN interface or SVI VLAN interface for VLAN 2. Well, how we can create that? Configure terminal in global configuration mode, switch interface VLAN 1, interface VLAN 1. I can set IP address statically 10.1.1.1, subnet mask 24 bit, and no shutdown. Okay, change the state to up, and change the state for line protocol to up. Exit, going to interface VLAN 2, because the second because at least one PC connected to VLAN 2, when I perform the command interface VLAN 2, it's automatically change the state to up. IP address statically 21.1.1, and the subnet mask, it's okay. No shutdown, it's not required because it no shutdown, but keep in mind to perform that anytime to make sure you enter the correct command as well. Well, and let me check the configuration. The PC, the left PC is connected to VLAN 1, so I should assign IP to that 10.1.1.2, the subnet mask, and the second PC is assigned to VLAN 2, so IP address will be 21.1.2, the subnet mask the same. Okay, and the switch IP address, the switch WATS IP address, and for getting information about the IP address of the switch, show IP interface brief or BRI. I show IP interface brief, enter. This is to SVI, switch virtual interface for VLAN 1 that has IP address 10.1.1.1 and VLAN 2 with IP address 20.1.1.1. Okay, and check. Let me check the ping and check communication. This computer IP config. This computer has IP address 10.1.1.2, and I try to ping its SVI. It's related SVI 10.1.1.1, and wait, and done. Okay, no problem, without any problem, connected successfully. And the second PC ping its relevant IP address of SVI, the switch SVI, and this is okay as same and connected completely. But what about if we want set the IP address of the switch by automatically or by the DHCP server? For this checking, for test this one, I can select server, I can select end user, end devices, and then select server, pick up the server, and select and connect that to the switch. For example, connected interface facet 03 into server. Okay, and I'm going to server and set the configuration IP address 200.1.1.1 with with this subnet mask and go to services, select DHCP, and DHCP service is the service for that can be assigning IP addresses from the specific range to the computers automatically. Start IP address 201.1 for example 5. Start from this address, and the pool number it's default. Okay, no problem. Service on, service DHCP on, and let me show IP show VLAN brief. I connected interface 0/3. It is still connected to VLAN 1. Well, okay. So for getting making this ability the switch for gaining and assigning IP address automatically and taking IP address automatically from the DHCP server, I should go to configure terminal and go into interface VLAN 1. I can use IP address DHCP. IP address DHCP, interface VLAN 1, assign DHCP address from 200.112. I did set start from 115. Okay, no problem. The software bug. Okay, that assigned by the DHCP. Let me check DHCP again. Check DHCP pool. This is DHCP, and server pool again. It's not showing here. Okay, no problem. But assigned to this, assigned to switch. That's okay. And show IP interface brief will show us the VLAN 1 assigned IP address 201.112 from the DHCP server automatically. Well, but another command I will show you is it's history show history command. With this command you can see which commands did you perform in recent times, in recent minutes, and so on. And another item is logging these messages that shown us. For example, interface changes state to up, interface assigned DHCP IP address, interface changes state to up or down, or any other items, any debugging or logging any message. It will be enabled or disabled by this command line. For example, I'm going to I connected I think I connected to the switch by console port. Okay, I'm going to interface line console 0, for example, logging synchronous or no logging synchronous. With logging synchronous, the logging synchronous message will up, and no logging will be down. Another important item is this. When you want configuring switch and when you start the basic configuration of the switch, maybe you perform the wrong command, or maybe set wrong IP address, or any incorrect configuration maybe you made. It will be changed, simplified by adding no word at the first of that command. For example, I'm going to interface fast Ethernet 0/1 IP address. Sorry, in the switch interface VLAN 1 IP address. For example, I mistake 31.1.1 with this subnet mask. and I see I did mistake, and I will change that. Simplify add no command at the first line of first of its line. No IP address. That's it. That's all. With adding no at the first line of that command, the previous implemented command will be cancelled and will be removed from the switch memory. Another basic configuration is assigning description for each interface. Let me show you. Show interface brief. Show interface status. I can see all of interface, connected or not connected, which VLAN the port is assigned to, and duplex and speed and type of interface and so on, but not any description here. Maybe this port be an important port that is connected to one of our important server, and we want to put the nodes for this that we can show and we can see in any time we perform the command of show interface status. For this, going to interface facility 01, for example, and with the command description, I can set description connects to the server 01 and end, and again show interface status. The description shows here. Another simple configuration or basic configuration is selecting many ports at the same time. For example, I want to shut down ports facility 0 from facility 0/4 to facility 0/9. Well, instead of by entering one by one into each port and shut down the port, I can select all of them at the same time. Configure range fast Ethernet 0/4 /9. All these ports selected together. So I can perform the shutdown command and shut down all ports together. Show interface status. All ports disabled administratively, and shut down all of them at the same time. But the last item is auto negotiation. For any speed for fast Ethernet ports, for example 10 megabit per second, 100 or 1000 interfaces, that is interfaces that can run at different speeds. Cisco Catalyst switches default to a setting duplex auto or speed auto. You can select duplex or speed automatically or manually. When you don't perform any change in that port, the switch will see and will check the connected computer to that port. For example, if this PC that connected to this port of the switch has the interface card, network interface card that supports 100 megabit per second or 100 megabyte per second or any other speed, for example 10 or 100 or 1000, the switch will change its port speed status based on the connected devices, and this means the switch port default has the auto negotiation and will change the duplex or change the speed based on the connected devices interface status. Well, this is another important and can be configured the switch. And we can see that here in configure terminal interface, for example fast Ethernet 0/3, and when you enter the speed command and ask the switch it will show you 10. You can set 10 megabit per second, 100 megabit per second, 100 megabit per second, or auto negotiation. When you use auto, it will change and replace its status based on the connected devices network interface card status. Okay, that's enough. This is this video so far. I hope the content was useful, and I recommend that you practice, and if you have any question, I will be happy to help you. You can post your question in the comments and I will answer it in less than 2 hours. Have a nice time. See you in the next video.